Hey y'all, today we are going to be comparing two of the top counties in the Atlanta metro area, that is Cobb and Gwinnett. Now, Cobb and Gwinnett are two of the largest counties in the Atlanta metro area by population, and some of the most popular for families looking to move to the area. Today we're going to explore why and see which one might be a better fit for you and your family. Now, Cobb County sits just to the northwest of the city of Atlanta. It actually comes down into the perimeter a little bit, and it has a population of about 775,000 residents. Some of the notable areas in Cobb County include Vinings, Marietta, Smyrna, East Cobb, and Kennesaw. Now, just opposite Cobb County on the northeast side of Atlanta sits Gwinnett County. Gwinnett County is one of the largest in the metro area. It's larger than Cobb by a little bit at almost 1 million residents. It almost comes down to the perimeter and then extends all the way up to Beaufort. But which of these is a better fit for you and your family? Well, it's going to depend on many different factors. Today, we're going to be taking a look at these two counties in terms of schools, housing costs and affordability, commute times into Atlanta, as well as amenities, family friendliness, and the general lifestyle. So buckle up for this competition between two of the heavy hitters in the Atlanta metro area. We're going to start by taking a look at the two public school systems. Now, Gwinnett is actually the largest public school system in the Atlanta metro area at just under 200,000 students in the school system. Cobb County, by comparison, has just over half of that at just over 100,000 students in the public school system. So Gwinnett schools might feel a little bit more crowded than Cobb County schools are. Now, as a real estate agent in the North Atlanta metro area, I can't give my personal opinion on the different schooling systems because that leads into fair housing laws and steering towards certain neighborhoods. We don't want to get in trouble, so we're not going to touch that today. What we are going to do is look at the ratings on greatschools.org. Now, it's not a perfect system. Essentially, what they do is they take test scores, improvement to test scores over time, discipline and attendance, as well as graduation rates and how many students go on to college, and they aggregate that into a score out of 10. So it's not a perfect system. I'm not sure there is a perfect system for comparing two different schools to each other, and today that's what we'll be basing these school systems off of. Now, when you take a look at these two school systems, they're actually quite similar. Both of them have some of the top high school options in the state and many fantastic options across the board. One of the trends you will notice, though, is if you're taking a look at some of those name recognition schools, some of the top 10 out of 10 rated, you're going to find more of those in Cobb County than you will in Gwinnett. In Cobb County, you're going to have high schools such as Walton, Pope, and Lassiter that rank 10 out of 10 and are very competitive to help prepare students for education at the highest level. In Gwinnett County, in comparison, you're only going to have one 10 out of 10 ranked high school. That's going to be the Gwinnett School of Mathematics, Science, and Technology. Now, here is where it gets interesting. Schooling is going to be very subjective depending on the kids, and you need to know your kids' needs for you to make a decision. Some kids who want to go into top programs at top-ranked colleges throughout the US are going to need that name recognition and the preparation that they're going to get at schools like Walton, Pope, and Lassiter. The majority of kids, though, are going to need a good environment for them to learn and thrive, but wouldn't do well with the stress and pressure that they're going to get at some of those top-ranked schools. Many of those schools' pages are filled with reviews from students who went there and weren't able to succeed under the pressure that they had in those classrooms. But if we take a look at some of the schools that are ranked in the 7 to 9 range, where most students are going to thrive, you're going to find more of those in the Gwinnett County public schools. So while it is completely subjective and you need to know your kids' needs, we're going to see more of those top-rated schools in the Cobb County School District, but a stronger baseline of good schools in the Gwinnett County Public School District. Now we're going to move on to our second category, which is housing and affordability. Now, this is going to vary and not be completely uniform throughout the counties, but in general, what you're going to see is more expensive housing in places like Cobb County, especially if you're taking a look at cities like Vinings and East Cobb, and you're going to see more affordability and more house and space for your money in Gwinnett County, especially if you're looking at cities like Lawrenceville, Decula, and Beaufort. Now, if you take a look at Cobb County across the board, all different housing types, as of June 2025, the median home price is going to be roughly $445,000. Compare that to Gwinnett County, and you're going to see that the Gwinnett County median home price across all different housing types is about $425,000. So there is a noticeable difference in those two numbers, but it's not bank-breaking to be in Cobb versus in Gwinnett County. If you look at the attached options, so townhomes, Gwinnett County is actually going to be a little bit more expensive with a median home price of $385,000 versus $375,000 in Cobb. So again, not a large difference, but it is something that you can notice. When we move into the detached single-family homes, that's where it's going to get a little bit wider of a gap. In Gwinnett County, you're going to have a median sales price of $445,000 for detached homes in the county. Move over to Cobb, and that's going to jump up to $485,000. And at that point, you're really going to feel a difference in the amount that you're paying for your median detached option. Now, this is going to be skewed by the more expensive places like East Cobb, parts of Marietta, and Vinings, trainings. But in general, across the board, you are going to feel like you're paying just a little bit more to be in Cobb County versus in Gwinnett County. Now, home prices are not the only thing that you have to factor in when you're looking at affordability. Sales tax is actually going to be the same at 6% across these two different counties, and property taxes are going to be a little bit lower in Cobb versus in Gwinnett. Now, different cities can set their own different property taxes, but the base property tax level in Cobb County is going to be about 0.7% of the sales price, and you're going to see that closer to 1% of the sales price in Gwinnett County. So that is going to make a difference on your yearly tax bill. Apart from that, though, affordability is going to be very similar across the board. You shouldn't notice a difference in your everyday, day-to-day goods or your groceries, but you will notice a difference in the housing costs between the two. Now, here at the Atlas Team Real Estate, we are here to help you in making that move to the right county, whether it's Cobb or Gwinnett. Me and my family did move into the Atlanta metro area from out of state, and so we've been through this entire process. We know how it feels and some of the pain points that you're going to come across. So if you are thinking about moving to either of these fantastic counties or somewhere else in the Atlanta metro area, feel free to reach out to us at the information in the description, and we're happy to get you started on the homeownership journey here in the Atlanta metro area. Now we're going to take a look at the commute times in these two different counties into the city of Atlanta. Many of the people who choose to live in either of these counties will be coming into Atlanta fairly regularly, whether it's for travel, work, or events and activities. The commute in general is going to be easier from Cobb County than in Gwinnett County. If you take a look at the map of Cobb County, you're going to notice that it pretty much surrounds I-75, which is going to be one of the main throughways into the city of Atlanta. It also doesn't extend as far out as Gwinnett County does. So if you're somebody who's regularly coming into the city of Atlanta, that's going to be easier from Cobb County than it will from Gwinnett. Gwinnett, in comparison, has a much larger geographical area. And though it does have I-85 coming across it, there's a larger chunk of Gwinnett County that is further away from I-85 than anywhere in Cobb is away from I-75. In addition to that, with a much larger population, the traffic just does seem to be a little bit worse whenever we're in Gwinnett County and can feel like more of a trek to come into the city of Atlanta. Now, it does depend on where you are in these two counties. If you're on the far end of Kennesaw, it is going to take a little bit longer to get into Atlanta versus if you're in Peachtree Corners. But the further parts of Gwinnett County, like Beaufort and Lawrenceville, Decula, and Snellville, it is going to be much more of a trek to get into the city of Atlanta than it will from anywhere in Cobb. So if you are somebody who has to regularly commute into Atlanta, plan ahead, and maybe Cobb is going to be the better option for you, so you don't spend all your time listening to your audiobooks and pulling your hair out at bumper-to-bumper traffic. Now, our final category today is going to be the amenities, the lifestyle, and the family friendliness of these two counties. Both of these counties, being suburbs of a larger city, are going to have a strong family-friendly focus. You're going to have no shortage of parks, playgrounds, youth sports leagues, and family-friendly events catered towards you if you are a family looking to move to the area. Now, Cobb County does seem to have more bigger ticket items. One of the most prominent in Cobb County is going to be the Battery. Now, the Battery is a mixed-use development that was built around Truist Park, which is the stadium where the Atlanta Braves play. The Battery has many prominent restaurants like Superica and Antico, activities like escape rooms, axe throwing, and VR arcades, apartment housing, yoga on the grass, and many different activities. It's a great place to enjoy a date night, a Braves game, or just a family night out. Cobb County is also home to Six Flags Over Georgia, the beginning of the Silver Comet Trail, which is the largest paved trail. It runs from Smyrna all the way out to the border of Alabama, and Kennesaw Mountain. On top of that, you're gonna have great shopping and amenities like downtown Marietta, the avenues at East Cobb, and others. In comparison, Gwinnett's not gonna have as many big ticket items, but does have a lot to be proud of as well. Gwinnett County places a lot of pride in its parks and playground areas. Just the other day, my family and I were out at the Peachtree Corners Town Center. It's got lots of restaurants, a movie theater, shopping, and a large green space with playgrounds surrounding it. It's even got a little workout park as well. Gwinnett County is going to be full of these options where you can get out and enjoy an afternoon in the sun. Gwinnett County, like Cobb, is also going to have some great nature parks and preserves, as well as the Mall of Georgia up by Beaufort, and some fantastic shopping and amenities. So while Cobb County does have some of the bigger heavy hitters, you're going to find plenty of options, playgrounds, parks, and spaces to enjoy a nice quiet Sunday afternoon in Gwinnett. And you're probably going to have more of those here in Gwinnett County than you are going to have in Cobb County. So it depends on what your preferences are and what you enjoy spending your time at most. But both of these counties are going to have some fantastic amenities. In terms of ethnical and cultural backgrounds, you are going to have a stronger diversity of that in Gwinnett County versus Cobb, with a strong community of people from Korea, India, and many other East Asian countries. One other thing I will mention is that in Gwinnett County is that my family, we spend a lot of time in both Cobb and Gwinnett counties. And it seems that every time we're at a park or a playground in Gwinnett County, there are dozens of other families out there enjoying it with us. And they're always willing to talk and come up and say hello. Not that we don't find the same thing in Cobb County, but it's always noticeable when we head out to Gwinnett County. It has a strong family-friendly community type feel to it. So that's our comparison between Gwinnett and Cobb counties. They're both going to have their strengths and their weaknesses. So let me know which one's a better option for you and your family. Again, if you were thinking about moving to either of these counties or anywhere in the Atlanta metro area, feel free to reach out to us to help you get started on the process. And if not, check out another one of our videos so you can find a different city that might fit your needs. Thanks for watching, and we will see y'all later.